Hello, welcome to Introduction to Business Online offered by the College of Lake County. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Last week there was no class. We had a spring break. I hope that you found some time to relax, recharge, re-energize yourself, spend some time with family and friends. And I understand part of the reason I didn't have any activity out there was because I think you should find that balance between work, school, and your own social life. Okay, so we're going to start week 5. So we're going to go into our weekly assignments, and we're going to go into week 5. So what do we have for week 5? I welcome you back from your break. You're to read the chapters 9, which is producing world-class goods and services. You have a Learn Smart software, interactive software. That's worth 10 points. You also will be covering Chapter 10, Motivating Employees and Building Self-Managed Teams. Most of you are working in self-managed teams or working some kind of team capacity. And how do your employers motivate you? And how would you motivate future employees that may work for your business or establishment? You have one forum worth 20 points. That's going to be on how would you motivate your employees for your operation. And part of your motivation should be focused on service provided and or quality of a service or products that you are providing or making. And then you will have this week, we'll have exam 2 covering chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10 worth 50 points. Okay, so let's go into our weekly assignments, see what we have. Okay, so you got the Learn Smart. We already covered that. You remember how to do that. Some of you already are 2 or 3 weeks ahead because the Learn Smart is always available here ahead of time for those who want to work ahead, so you don't have that much to do when that week is coming. You can complete that. Let's see. So we have that. We have one form. Let me go on what the form is. Let me just close this off here a little bit this way. We have one form, and in this form, let me just click on the form. Make it open up a little bit bigger. I don't know if I can make this a little larger. And for those of you who are by this time, you know that these short overviews, I'm live. I don't do any editing. I just like you'd be in the classroom. It's just to help you, give you kind of a motivation. Most of you overall, look at your overall grade. Make sure you update your profile. Remember your profile in Blackboard's worth 5 extra points I've given you. So some of you need those 5 extra points. And it's always nice to have a little cushion when you're going into the final grade. Not to be exactly in an A, but so a little higher than that. Okay, the cushion, those points are you could utilize anywhere within your overall grade. Okay, so what's the form? The form on motivation as to produce quality goods and services. So this week's forum. And remember, you will not be able to see any other individual's threads until you post to my thread. This is just to make sure that everyone does their own work and doesn't copy somebody else's work. Okay, so you're going to list several motivators that motivate you at work other than money. Money is a motivator, as you've read the chapters. When you listen to Herzberg, and I have a whole, remember, I've got my short lecture. Herzberger says motivate money is just a hygiene factor, but it is a motivator. But once I get paid, I get my raise and paid, will it motivate me for the rest of the year? So come up with how companies at work motivate you, utilizing the concepts in the chapter readings to have that motivation to do quality work, whether you're in retail or to do quality services or create quality product. So your motivational strategy is how to get them to work, to motivate them to work effectively and efficiently. Okay, let's now, so you're going to list 1 or 2 that at work. You say, these work well for me. And what you're going to find out with this chapter is reading that what motivates me may not motivate you. So the thing for business, the dilemma that businesses face is, how do I find a common motivating tool that is flexible enough for a different variety of individuals, different social classes, different generations, different disciplines. And I find this tool that I could motivate and utilize across the border. And most of you, if you're working, what does your employer do to motivate you at work to come in there and say, hey, I did a good job and I feel well? Is it other than money? Okay, and then list 7 motivators that motivate you at school. I know the grades are one. Remember, as I mentioned before, your grades are, you look at the grades. If I get an A, B, or C, or even a D, is your academic currency. So what you get for the work you do is how I would pay you, equivalent to if you would be getting paid cash, but you're getting paid with an academic grade. Okay, so just a few in there. What do you feel would motivate your employees for the business that you've already selected earlier, or yourself for a new venture or product other than money? And it could be self-satisfaction. It could be no, the intrinsic or extrinsic. It could be both. I'm leaving that open. Remember, the forums are for you to discuss among each other. As you've noticed, I will respond or give some comment for those who remember your forum. You have to respond to my forum by Tuesday midnight for you to get the full forum points, and then to 6 or more students within the week, not at all one day, maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday. So 6 or 9. So you create that dialogue. Part of the forums is to create that interaction within a network or in a classroom. In this case, it would be a virtual classroom or virtual customers. Okay, so in the subject area, identify just one. You're going to put more in your within the forum. Several here for work, several for school, and then several that you think will motivate for your specific product, depending on your situation and your employees that will be working for you. And one thing I want you to think about when you're looking at the motivation chapter, even this chapter focuses more on motivating employees. When we go on into the marketing and promotion, those are basically your promotional tools. How do I motivate employees to come and buy my product? And that's similar to, instead of motivating employees, now I'm motivating customers to come in and buy my product, okay? In the subject area, just identify one main motivator at work other than money, and one main motivator at school. This way, when people look at the subject area, it's similar to in a forum, similar to an email. Which emails do I respond quicker to? Are some that I look in the subject area and, this is I got to respond to right away. And this way it gives you an idea of how to respond and keep the forums going. Again, the forums, I'll respond. I try to pull back more. I read all your postings. I read all your threads. But I expect you to make those connections to other individuals. So if you're always communicating with only one group of individuals, try to expand now. Read somebody else's motivation. I didn't think about that. Yes, that makes a good idea. Or did you consider this? And to create that network. Remember, everyone's not going to respond to you. Just similar to on your social media, if you're in LinkedIn or in your Facebook, you don't respond to every post that's in there in your network. You respond to some that makes sense, but you're reading all of them to make sure that you're in touch with everyone else within your network, okay? And now these motivation techniques will motivate your employees or yourself to perform a world-class, will these motivational techniques that you're going to be utilizing, that you're going to state in here, motivate your employees or yourself to perform good? Remember, so your motivation has to be something that motivates them to do quality work. You can't have motivated. I'm going to give you motivated because you're doing a good job. You're going to get rewards or a pat on the backs or intrinsic or extrinsic rewards, basically to focus you, as you've read in the chapters 9, quality, and you in the previous chapters. How am I going to motivate individuals to create a quality good or quality service experience when I come into my shop or my establishment or my service that I'm providing? Customers will come back to you if they feel that they received high quality for the cost that they paid you. You know what I mean? Just because you had high quality but you're late on time, and if you maybe if you look at Comcast. And I'm just using it like that because what are they? How do they motivate customers to utilize them? They basically say, when you need any kind of service, we're open 24/7. We'll respond to you. We'll utilize us, and we will give you a date. And within that window, we will be there. Or otherwise, we'll pay a penalty, maybe $10, $15. And now, for the employees, they know they have to. Part of their goals are that they meet their service times and dates. Otherwise, some of their motivation or bonuses may be reduced depending on the number of late appointment times that they made. Just an example, okay? Now remember to respond to everyone by Tuesday midnight, and you'll not see other individuals' postings until you do the first thread. After you do the first thread, remember you could delete your other threads. Now your first threads, once you have it, that's in there. You can't change those, but then when you respond to other individuals, if they haven't responded to you, you have the ability to delete that thread, okay? So that's it on the forums. We're 20 points. Look, these are easy points. You remember, you have your Blackboard apps. You have your smartphones. You could communicate just like you do your social media within the week. You're coming back now. Let's get focused back in. You had your break. You had your refresher. You're now going forward. Okay? So that takes care of our forums. So let me go back in here in Blackboard. Okay. So you have the forms. We have that. You have your you're going to have your second exam, and it's going to be on chapter 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, when you go on the exam, click it. You have some of you are prepared or ready for it because you've already done your Learn Smart homework. You've read the chapters during your break because you have some free time. So you could take the exam. It's worth 50 points. Once you take the exam, look at the time that's allotted. You have more than enough time. You could go forward. You could go backwards. But if you're taking too long, do the exam first. Highlight on the back. Good strategy for exam taking online is, just mark the questions you're not sure, answer all of them, and then go back to those. Now you have the time. Once the time is once you met that time limit, it tells you how much time you have left to start to finish the exam will turn off. So if you're only halfway and you've used up your time, it turns off. No different than you would be taking an exam in a face-to-face classroom. You have an hour or an hour 15 minutes to take this exam in a classroom. And if you don't complete it, I pull the exam, sorry. So try to learn this. Take the exams. Once you start it, the studying goes forward. I know from exam, last exam when we did exam 1, some were kicked out. And I would reset it depending, at the beginning. Make sure you use Microsoft Firefox. This is what they recommend with Blackboard and exam. It gives you all the functionality. Chrome works pretty well too. Okay? So that takes up. You always have my lectures online for chapters 9 and 10. Remember, I've got the link in there, so you have no problems in that. You could go in there, look at my lectures. Some students like to look at my lectures, listen to my lectures prior to doing the Connect Learn Smart homework, so it has a good idea, and then you're reading it. All right, so we'll do good on that. Make sure you also, when I'm in here in weekly exams, so those are available for you. You also have my concept maps are available in a PDF file. Print those out, and you have a PowerPoint. I show you how to print out your PowerPoints, where you can do for every slide. And these PowerPoints are the PowerPoints that are supplied by the publisher. So you have your PowerPoints, your concept maps. Now when you're doing your reading, you could add on to it. It gives you a good outline, a good overview. So when you take your do your Learn Smarts and you do your exam, you have a good understanding. The more senses you utilize in learning, you read, you do Learn Smarts and interactive software, you listen to my videos, you write down new information, your own notes, and then you should be good. One thing, when people are reading the book and they're taking the notes, a lot of people read the book the way they tell you to do. Read first time for to read it, read it through, and then read a second time for comprehension. Most of us don't have time to do that. I never did that as a student. So when I would read, I would take my notes at the same time, reading, taking my notes, and that's why I use my mind maps. It gives you a quick overview of what's in there. Remember, I'm utilizing a little more. You have the second tier, add to it. So the more senses you utilize, the more you take from your short-term memory and you put it into your long-term memory. The whole thing of this whole course is a foundational course, or what they call a survey course in academics. It shows you all 21 chapters, and now so you know how all the parts fit. And then you'll take a whole course on marketing, a whole course on organizational behavior, a whole course on motivation. But now you know how all the pieces fit. Okay? And I think that's it. So we're doing well. This is going to be one of my shorter reviews. We'll go forward, and be expecting you in the forums. You all doing well. Look at your overall current grade. You have that. So you have your, whether you have an A, B, C, D, and some of you are an F. But if you look at it at the end, you may be at like about or a D. You're pretty close to it. Make sure you do the Learn Smarts. Don't fall behind those. The Learn Smarts, they're there. Part of this course is to teach you how to write, teach you how to communicate, teach you how to be a time management. And try not to, as I mentioned in every one of my overviews, to try not to do everything in one day. There's no way you could do an online class all in one day. There's no way at work you do everything in one day. You're a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, looking at your service dates, your due dates, and then you, when they're due, you have most of the work done. Okay? So we'll see you in the forums. And welcome back. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Introduction to Business 121, online, offered by the College of Lake County, and I'll see you in the forums. Have a nice day. Bye.